Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore are still stuck in space. They're both NASA astronauts. They were launched into the orbit on the 5th of June in Boeing's Starliner capsule. The astronauts were scheduled to stay there for a week, but it's been more than a month now and they're still there, stuck in space. What's worse, there is no confirmation on when they can return. There is no talk of a rescue mission. In fact, the agencies seem to be in denial mode. NASA and Boeing refuse to accept that the astronauts are stranded. Here's a report.
June 5th, that's when two NASA astronauts were launched into space.
To mission control here in Houston
Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore. They travelled to the International Space Station to complete a test flight of the Starliner capsule, which is a Boeing aircraft. The journey took 25 hours. The trip was completed successfully.
Lots of cheering here in the room, big hugs.
Williams and Wilmore reached the International Space Station. The astronauts were scheduled to stay there for a week. But that 1 week turned into 2. And soon it turned into more than a month. The astronauts are still stranded in space. But apparently that's the wrong term to use here, at least according to NASA. The space agency, along with Boeing, held a press conference recently. They addressed questions about the delayed Starliner mission, and instead of giving honest answers, they chose to issue a strong rebuttal. The NASA program manager overseeing the mission said, "I want to make it very clear that Butch and Suni are not stranded in space. Our plan is to continue to return them on Starliner and return them home." That's well and good, but guess he forgot to add eventually to that sentence, because the astronauts are still stuck in space. With each passing day, it sounds like the plot of a scary Hollywood movie. Instead, NASA chooses to fight over the semantics. And what's more, there's no time frame for the return. There's no talk of a rescue mission. And the vague answers don't provide much clarity about what's going on or how severe the situation is. This is what we know so far. The Starliner has 28 jets. During the journey, 5 of them, quote-unquote, behaved oddly. NASA and Boeing engineers are still studying the thrusters. They say that 4 out of 5 are working properly now. The other will not be used during the trip home. But they still don't fully understand what caused the problem. So they're still running a bunch of tests and analysis. None of this sounds very encouraging. But NASA and Boeing say that the Starliner is fully capable of bringing the astronauts home in case of an emergency. They claim to only be keeping the Starliner in space to better analyze what went wrong. And how long is that analysis expected to last? Well, they aren't sure. But soon they may have to work on borrowed time. The Starliner capsule has a limited battery. It can only spend 45 days in space. This is how long it was certified by NASA to last in the orbit. But now, NASA is hinting that the mission will last longer. They plan to certify it for an additional 45 days. Clearly, NASA and Boeing want to buy more time. Despite what they say, this does not inspire confidence. And in spite of their repeated explanations, we don't know if at this very moment the Starliner is safe to bring the crew home. We're still waiting for NASA to provide an answer.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
As the world warms, nature's sentinels will rise. As a billion hands will dig deep, to write a new future for our planet.